14 and 10 said with a loud voice, "Stand up on thy feet," and he leaped and walked. And when the people saw what Paul had done, they lifted up their voice, saying in the speech of Laconia, "The gods are come down to us in the likeness of men."
Right, so they were giving glory to, Paul. They were saying, oh, these are the gods that came down from the stars. Because that's heathenistic, when they worship Jupiter, Saturn, Mars and all that stuff like that, Pluto. Go ahead.
And they called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul Mercurius because he was the chief speaker. And then the priest of Jupiter, which was before their city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates, and would have sacrificed with people.
What verse that is?
13.
13.
Which,
and,
I think the point is.
Okay, good, yeah.
Is that they're about to do a sacrifice to Jupiter for Paul and Barnabas. They thought they were gods on the planet.
So you got Jake that they don't want to give glory, to the Most High, but they were, in a heathenistic mindset. But at the same time, you have to understand and believe that there's a God greater than you, and also understand, you're supposed to be in the world but not of the world. So in that time, they were in the world and of the world, So common sense will really tell you that where do you get these gods from? This Jupiter stuff like that. You got to understand, that these gods aren't real. Like they would have to be one. Even before you came to this truth, you have to believe that there has to be the highest power. Where do these gods come from? Who created Jupiter? Who created all these? You have to understand, even if you don't believe in Yahweh, that there is one power source.
Can I say something? Because when you go into the Greek mythology and Greek philosophy, they place Zeus. There was many variety of gods, but they set Zeus as the highest god above all the gods. Where did that concept come from?
This is Acts 17 and 23. Whereas I passed by and beheld their devotion, I found an altar with this inscription: to the unknown God, whom therefore ye ignorantly worship, him declare I unto you. So Paul was he was going by. I forgot what it was. Ephesians. It might be in Ephesians. But Paul was going by, and they were worshiping, and they was worshiping. They didn't know what they were worshiping. They were just worshiping because the scripture just said the unknown God, and Paul said he declared it unto them. He told them about Yahweh because during these times they was worshiping anything really. They was worshiping the Greek gods, the unknown God. Jake was fucking bugged out with Greek mythology and Roman
because
it's the same.
The
Roman
philosophy
and Greek
and religion was kind of the same thing, because during the Greek Empire, it was nothing but philosophers just running rampant.
He was talking to philosophers in this chapter.
Yeah, and then they said, "Oh, what philosophy does this man have this week?" Because the philosophers came with the moment they had a new idea or something that hasn't been heard of. They'll put themselves out there just to try to get some type of notoriety. Niggas was trying to be famous back in them days too.
If you look at the movie Alexander, it shows you a scene of that. And they was because Alexander's instructor, he's a famous philosopher in Greek society. I forgot his name, but every day for class, him and his classmates, they would basically come and talk about all the questions that they have in the world. About who's the ruling God, strongest God, this and that, what lands they need to go to, what God they need to pray to win this battle, what God they need to study up on to win this other battle. That's all they used to do, was just sit up and talk. They said it's the same. That's why they were saying what they were saying in Acts, to the unknown God, to Jupiter, to Mercury, blah blah blah, all that bullshit.
Blah blah blah. Oh man, I forgot. Oh, Assassin's Creed. When you play Assassin's Creed, I think it's the second one. They give you an indication of how philosophers were used to manipulate the people. But that's a different story. But anyways.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Because in here it is right here. This is for this is from the book Native American History of American Indians by James Adair. This is one thing about the Greeks and Romans, what Jacob was mixing that itself. This is what's his word out there? Hesiod tells us the ancient heathens had no less than 30,000 gods. It is well known that the ancient heathens, especially the Greeks and Romans, adored with male and female deities, abounded with male and female deities, and commonly in human as they imagined they could not safely trust themselves to the care of any one god, therefore chose a multiplicity. They multiplied and changed them from childhood to old age, and that's the same thing. Our people is mixed into. They was mixed in with all these different gods that the Romans and Greeks created. They was just making random gods. There was a god for Cludius Maximus, damn your ass cheek. They had a god for that. They had a god for every member in the body. This is this is what our people was worshiping during them times. They was worshiping any and everything, man, because they was stuck in that philosophy that was pushed on them by Antiochus Epiphanes, and then the philosophy that was pushed on them by the Romans. And then Jake was making their own gods, like what's that drunk nigga, the one drunken god, Bacchus. That was a damn nigga. Jake was mixing all these different philosophies into one. Then when the scriptures came, they was all bugged out about it. It was like, these men are speaking a new doctrine. They're speaking something new because it was new to everybody. They didn't know what the hell was going on. They was believing in gods, Zeus, Bacchus, Hercules, Mars. They didn't know what the hell the scriptures was talking about. They was like, who's your shot? They didn't know what the hell was going on. That was
leaving off where I was at, this is Deuteronomy 11, verse 12. A land which the Lord Yahweh thy power cared for. The eyes of the Lord Yahweh thy power are always upon thee, from the beginning of the year even to the end of the year. And it shall come to pass, if ye shall hearken diligently unto my commandments.
So these are stipulations that the Most High gave us. If,
which I command you this day, to love the Lord Yahweh thy power, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul.
And another example is Abraham, when he was about to sacrifice Isaac. You know, he didn't want to do it, but he was like, damn, Most High told me to do it. So he was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna have to do what I have to do. You know, so that was a test of his faith. So whatever the Most High tells you to do, you do it. You know, because that shows that you know, not just the commandments, but if he commands you, if he say, you know, jump off a 30-foot, you know, building or a 300-foot building, you just do it.
Right.
He ain't.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, this is personally me speaking. If the Lord told me to jump off a 30-foot building, I'm thinking the Most High about to do some miraculous shit. So I'm about to do
Especially
that.
after he showed you his miracles and showed you and brought you to so many beautiful things and showed you so much stuff. You know, so you just do it.
Yeah, because in second Esdras, one of the things Esdras said unto the Most High is show even more wondrous works to them, roughly paraphrasing, to them in the latter days. So the Most High is about to show us some things that's never been seen, never been heard or done. That I will give you the rain of your land in his due season, the first rain and the latter rain, and thou mayest gather in thy corn and thy wine and thy oil. And I will send grass in thy fields for the cattle, and thou mayest eat and be full.
So are we gonna have a land that's gonna be filled with, you know, natural resources? We're not gonna have to, oh man, we don't got this. We're gonna have to go trade with, you know, Libya or Ethiopia.
We gotta go and conquer them and somehow cause a terrorist attack to take over their land.
Fucking
devils.
And that's opposite of Cain, because the Cain, one of his curses is that the land wouldn't, you know, bears fruit. You know. All right.
Take heed to yourself that your hearts be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them.
Can you get Deuteronomy 14? I believe in verse 21. I believe. I know it's in Deuteronomy 14 somewhere. Matter of fact, read that verse again.
Can I read the verse after that?
Yes.
Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived, and ye turn aside and serve other gods and worship them. And then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, and there be no rain, and that your land yield not her fruit, lest ye perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you. What the point was first paraphrase. That the Lord's wrath be kindled against you.
Okay. Deuteronomy 13 and 6. If thy brother, the son of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or thy wife, or thy bosom, of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is thy own soul, and entreat thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other gods, which thou hast not known, with thou nor thy fathers, namely the gods of the people which are round about you, nigh unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him, neither shall thy eye pity him, neither shall thy eyes, neither thou spare, nor shall thou counsel him, but thou shalt surely kill him.
Because Jake got Jake, sometimes they be having compassion with their brothers. So like, man, you going off, man. You like, man, throw down in the run. Most I said, kill him. Go ahead.
It said thy friend. It said
of your own soul.
Yeah. Your friend. I'm reading verse 6 again. If thy brother, to name off the people, if thy brother, thy son of thy own of thy mother, or thy son, or thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend.
So even women?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's right.
Which is of thy own soul, entreat thee secretly, saying, let us go serve other gods which thou hast not known, neither thy fathers. Verse 9. But thou shalt kill him.
Kill him.
Thy hand shall be first upon him. So as soon as they tell you this, You supposed to grab him. You supposed to kill that motherfucker right then and there. But thou shalt kill him. Thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death. Afterwards, the hand of all the people. And thou shalt stone him with stones that he die, because he hath sought to thrust thee away from the Lord thy power.
And this is the beautiful part about this, because this goes to the concept that most Babylonians don't understand, which is a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. You know, you got a little bit of wickedness, you allow it to thrive. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think if you go and tell somebody, you know, hey, you know, let's go worship, you know, the god of the boogers or something like that. And then, you know, now, let's say, you know, I'm down with it, he down with it. What do you think? He gonna tell somebody else? He gonna call a friend, he gonna tell 2 people, he gonna tell 4 people, he gonna tell 5 people. Right? Then everything, before you know it, our nation's gonna be what it is today, a nation of idol worshipers. So you cut it right and nip it in the bud. You know, a little leaven the whole lump. This is why we are down against faggots, against homosexuals.
That's right.
Now, if you see homosexuals, put it like this, now they got it to where they allow trannies in the bathroom. And you can go whatever bathroom you want to. You allow men now can go in some women's bathroom. You know, I'm not sure if that's state law or federal law or whatever. All right, or certain, because I believe Planet Fitness, you can choose whatever bathroom you want to. But they got places like that, so now you allow just a little bit of faggotry in. Now you gotta deal with all of this.
I wouldn't even want to go into a woman's bathroom, man.
Probably tampons and fucking nasty and fucking
blood
disgusting.
everywhere.
Right.
Women are foul, man. Why are you women are foul? It's a little more.
They started being in the bathroom.
Yeah, man, I ain't about to be standing next to no faggot pissing. That shit piss me. A tranny at that. It's enough a faggot can come to me.